and welcome to another episode of Ascension Talk with Ariella. Welcome, welcome. It's lovely to spend some time in your incredible presence again on this most benevolent Thursday. And I have got a very extra special guest lined up for you today, because I can call her my friend. I can call her my client. I can call her like my muse from the angelic kingdom, because she's a very, very inspiring angelic emissary, as you will find out, because she has been on quite the journey. And it's just been so lovely to have this woman's presence in my life, and to have been blessed to be a guide on the journey with her, and to have like just got to know her, because she has a beautiful heart, a beautiful soul. It radiates out through her. I was just saying before we clicked the start broadcast button, Lorraine's soul, it's like her light beams out for, millions of miles around her. She's truly one of the most radiant beings and heart-centered beings that I've ever met. And I think you will enjoy her energy very much. And we're going to be talking a bit about, because I'm calling Lorraine a divine risk taker. She's a spiritual entrepreneur. She's been on an incredible journey. She's taken a lot of risks. And when you're aligning with your higher purpose, depending on your blueprint, often you are asked to take a lot of risks, which Lorraine definitely has done. And she's really at that stage where she's just like stepping into that sweet spot. She's stepping into that flow of divine alignment, of magical synchronicity. And we're picking up with Lorraine at a very exciting place in her journey, where the magic is really starting to happen. So without further ado, I want to pass over to Lorraine to say hello to you and to introduce herself.
Hello, everybody, and I am so excited and so pleased to be here. Thank you for such an amazing introduction, Ariella, and everything right back at you. You're one of the reasons why I'm here, and that you've supported me 100% of the way. So it's just been an incredible journey, I think, for the two of us.
Absolutely, and continues to be so. So how would you describe yourself? What is your mission? About who are you? What's your mission? What are you bringing? Like, what's your intention to bring into this incredible planet, that Earth that we're on?
Yeah, I'm still finding it out, but I know I've had a good start. The big thing, I know I'm very connected with parents. I have a family myself. I am a mother. And also teaching. It's the teaching world. A lot of teachers are in Beyond Parenthood. And we're getting very connected. Some of them are teachers now, and some of them have left the education system because they just couldn't stick it anymore. Their soul was saying something different to them about how they needed to teach. So they had lots of stress, lots of heartache, wanting to be there to help the young children. But at the same time, it just wasn't a healthy environment for them to be in. So this is the link I'm finding is very much in our Beyond Parenthood community. Mm-hmm. So this is a new revelation for me. Mm-hmm. I was a teacher myself, mm-hmm. As well as, of course, being a mother. So I know this certainly is the link. I want to make a difference. The soul blueprint, what you call it? Oh my goodness.
System.
System. I want that in schools. I really and truly.
That I'm using it's the soul blueprint system. This is the one that I've been connecting with Lorraine on, and we both agree, don't we, Lorraine, that all children, it should be really part of what they're taught at school. It should definitely be what they're taught at school, to be given their blueprints, to be given their soul profiles at an early age, so that they can get this head start on like the rest of us who are only sort of finding out what our divine gifts are, what our divine alignment is, often sort of later on our 30s, 40s, 50s, right? Wouldn't it be amazing to empower children and parents with the knowledge of who these incredible beings are, so that they can parent them in a way which is bespoke and aligned to their blueprint?
See, that's my dream. That is it all in a nutshell. And that's why I'm focusing on the parents. We need to start with the parents. We need to get them aligned to their true self, and then to allow their crazy little children to unfold to their soul joy. And this is the extra guidelines that we need, is the soul blueprint system. It's phenomenal. It's been life-changing for me. And in that effect, it has been life-changing then for my family as well, for my teenagers that are still with me.
So when you're talking about the crazy-licious children, and I love that, by the way, it brings up so many beautiful images. So in sort of like multi-dimensional terms, we might be calling these crazy-licious children the new humans, right? Yes. The indigos, the crystals, the rainbows. We might also be calling them the letter people. Sometimes they're referred to ADHD, all of these types of terms. Yeah. So the piece that you are holding and like stepping forwards is to support the parents and the children with this dynamic, right? And the teachers of these types of children. You know, which, as we know, and hey, I'm Ariella Indigo, so I wasn't the easiest child myself. I, you know, speak to my parents, speak to any. I'm not sure that my old teachers would actually speak to you, but if they did, they would tell you I wasn't the easiest of children, because we're not, right. We know that we're wired into like different dimensions. We're plugged into like different realities. We have a different consciousness. We have a different energy type, a different blueprint. Often it's a very otherworldly blueprint. So, you know, it's that struggle, right, of trying to ground and be in the world when we're not of the world. So you are that connector, as I see it, to help, like, you know, to help these families to really unify and to appreciate each other's differences and find a way forwards.
Absolutely. It's understanding the autism of how these children are truly feeling. Mm-hmm. And how they're feeling, it's on a physical level as well as a spiritual level. So spiritually, they're very connected to their soul. Mm-hmm. They're very connected to otherworldly places, as you've put very eloquently. But then on this physical plane, they're feeling the pain and the hurt around the world. They go out into schools and they can't cope. And that's when they start being difficult, because they see a teacher that's there in front of them, and bless her, she's got 30 odd other kids in that class who she's trying to control. And everything in their soul, everything in their body is telling them, this is wrong. I don't want to be here. Yeah. I feel pain. I feel hurt. I feel stress. I feel anger. And I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Mm-hmm. And then I'm being told to sit still and do maths for 35 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it is. And then you get a little bit of a break, and then you have to sit still again to do English or whatever it is. I mean, it's not a natural way to learn.
No. What is your advice to parents? Because I know that there will be some parents who are watching this now, right, who have one of these incredible new types of children who are coming in with these new blueprints. What advice would you give these parents in how they can nurture and like ride the wave, which can be quite a rocky wave at time with these types of children?
First and foremost, please know their soul has chosen you to be their parents.
Mm.
Therefore, you are the expert of your child. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, believe, trust everything within you that is true. So your self-confidence in that has a huge effect on your child. Mm-hmm. You start connecting with them on a soul level, first and foremost. And it doesn't matter how they're acting out physically. Just assure them in their safe little bubble and just know it's a feeling that you get, you know that they're safe. And, you know, ignore society. Please do ignore society.
Yeah.
And even ignore the doctors, ignore the physiotherapists to a certain extent. Get the information that you feel you need to get your child to where they need to be. But if it comes to a stage where you don't agree with the drugs that they're suggesting, my son was told to go on to Rohypnol, and I refused. I just knew it was here. I just knew that was the wrong road to take for him. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And boy, am I glad I didn't take that route. So listen to your soul. Don't rush into anything. Mm-hmm. And just keep holding that beautiful space for them at home. A massive thing, and I know it's come up hugely in Beyond Parenthood recently, and that's why I really have to bring it up right now, and thank you for the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Chemicals around the home, they're so low vibrational. Mm-hmm. They affect these beautiful souls because all the time what their body is telling them is detox, because they're taking on all the toxins within the world. Mm-hmm. And especially in the home with low vibrational chemicals. This is massive. We need to change. And for the environment as well, it's got a huge knock-on effect as well for the environment. So it's a massive subject. But just to get this opportunity to please have a look, any parents that are listening and have these wonderful children, just look around and see the chemicals you're using, the cleaners, the disinfectants, and just see what ones you can change over to plant-based products, because there's some amazing ones out there. And in the same turn, you're not just helping your family, you're helping the planet as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that is very, very good advice. And yeah, I mean, these children, and hey, I'm one of them, right? Ariella, Indigo, so I get it. Very, very ultra sensitive to all of these different types of like chemicals, and you know, there's not much, quite honestly, that we're not sensitive to. So and it can really affect behavior and mood, and like you say, the energy that we are carrying around with us that we don't often realize we're carrying around because we're empaths. We're also rapidly going through the ascension process. We're very much plugged into spirits. So, you know, it really, I mean, I love your mission because it is a subject close to my heart, and a lot of my clients are in the same camp as this. And, you know, let's face it, it's still not a subject which is recognized by society, and like we get laughed at actually by a lot of the mainstream society when we try to talk about these new types of humans. And like, you know, so I think you're very brave. I think you've got a very beautiful mission, a big mission here, and a huge light to share. So let's talk about a little bit about your journey, because I think this is very inspiring for people who are watching this, because I am calling you the divine risk taker, and you have been just really inspiring in my community. So Lorraine and I first met last year. It was actually this time last year, wasn't it, Lorraine?
It was, yeah.
At an event in the States, and it was an event that was being held by my business mentor at the time, and Lorraine purchased one of the tickets. I had like discounted tickets to go to this event, and we met there. And Yeah, I remember when we first sort of really properly connected, because it was just at the moment where you were at that crossroads, and I've been there myself, and probably people can relate to this on their own journeys, of when you're getting asked by the universe to actually commit a rather large sum of money that you may not have into a program that you feel called to be in, but you don't know how to afford it. And I was just coming down the stairs as you were having a conversation. It was like the synchronicity brought us towards each other, didn't it? So pick up from there, Lorraine. What's the journey been like for you so far?
Oh, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. Lots of blocks, lots of stuff coming up. But it was been just incredible to have you at my back and all your wonderful team. This is something that definitely you just can't do on your own. You just can't. But yes, it was divine timing, definitely. The Zone event was great in the sense that I got a chance to meet you. I had been following you when you were in your caravan. So I had been watching and I'd been connected to you, and I knew at some stage we were going to work together. That was my mission to put out there, was my vision that I put out there at least 2 years, a year before that. So I had been following you even before the Zone events.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you were just a total inspiration. You were just totally, I said, that's who I want to follow. That's who I want to be like. That she's doing what I want to do. So yeah, I did go on that on the business mentorship course. I did a summit, an online summit, which was absolutely phenomenal.
Beyond Parenthood, I believe. Yeah,
that's right. Beyond Parenthood. Yes, and oh my goodness, over 1,500 people signed up for us.
And what was that like? So, Lorraine, had you done any online work before you were doing this hosting and interviewing? How many speakers did you have?
We had 21 speakers.
21 speakers who have got like pretty big followings in the world, who are up to big things in the world. And here you are, and I've done it as well. So people know who are watching this, I've hosted the multidimensional human experience. There's been 3 seasons of that. So I understand, right, some of the courage that it takes to walk through the resistance, to hold that kind of space. How did it feel for you?
Oh, I mean, the first one, I was shaking. My stomach was sick. I was saying, no, I'm going to do this. I know this is the right thing to do. And I was so blessed. There was a lovely, lovely person called Hazel Newton. I think you know Hazel. I know.
Hazel is a good friend of mine. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, she just made us feel so at home. And it was like as if we were chatting like you and me today.
Yeah.
And then after the interview, it was just, oh my gosh, I've done it. And I must say it got easier after that. The first one is always the one that really gives you the challenge, isn't it?
Oh, the first time you do an online interview with somebody, I mean, it's terrifying. I think people sometimes like look at what we're up to in the world, and maybe look at Ascension Talk with Ariella and think, well, she seems comfortable and it seems natural, and she's just one of those people that can do it. Yeah. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Terrified. I used to have to write everything down.
Me too.
And then read it, but it gets easier, doesn't it? It gets a lot easier with practice and stepping forwards. And I think this is a key message for the light workers who are watching this, because we really are here to share our lights in the world.
Yeah.
And this online platform, the internet, is an incredible platform for us to really share our light in the world. And no wonder Lorraine has connected with a platform such as this, because as I say, her soul light is absolutely huge. So it makes sense that she's gonna, be on a global stage sharing her light. But it does take, as indigos, empaths, multidimensionals, sensitives, it does take us walking through our sensitivities, right? And really being seen. And you know, we're very sensitive to energy. So, you know, we feel people watching us, I think, more so than other people, perhaps. So it's a real, like, you know, I just think it's such an act of courage and faith and love when light workers like put themselves out there like you have and walk through these blocks and these resistances. So, okay, so you did your how many have you done? One or two?
Just the one.
Done one so far. I'm sure there's more coming in the future, and that's called Beyond Parenthood. And can we talk a little bit about money and a little bit about like the risks that, because both of us have this shared experience, don't we, of taking big risks with money. And by the way, like Lorraine was talking a little bit earlier about my soul purpose system, which is a Hebrew system, and it decodes your name into Hebrew phonetic sounds, and it places them around a Star of David, which shows you what your divine gifts are, what your karma is, your challenges that you've brought into this life that you're here to transmute into your gifts of gold. It gives you a compass because it gives you a direction for where your soul is wanting to head in for your highest divine alignment. And what Lorraine and I both share is we have the 4 coding in our blueprint. And the 4 code is the money code. It's one of them because the 3 is as well, but it's all about abundance, and there can be lots of it when you have the 4 code in your profile. But there can also be, because the shadow state, the negative aspect of the 4 is there can be like blocks around money. There can be scarcity consciousness. There can be lack consciousness. So a 4, when it's in challenge, they can be really worried about financial security, and they can be like anti-risk when it comes to money and clinging on so that they don't like make big changes, or they don't really put themselves out there because they don't, you know, they would be devastated if they lost their house or their financial security or their job, which they probably hate, etc. So what a perfect like evolutionary drama to create whereby the universe, spirit, I mean, so the universe is always kind, I say that, but it doesn't feel like it at times when you're going through this massive resistance, because you kind of get these like carrots dangled, don't you? These divine carrots, and you get glimpses of what your life, your dream life could be look like. You get glimpses of the impact, how you could change the world. But in order to do that, you've got to walk through whatever your challenges are, which for a 4 will always be about money. So there can be these ups and downs in abundance. The polarity theme for the 4 is like, it's about fertility, infertility, or you could look at it as barren to fruitfulness. Yeah. So it's very much the seasons. And there is a like winter season where everything's in decay, and it has to go down to the bottom. If you think about like the circle of the seasons, the wheel of the seasons, it has to go down to the bottom to then come up again so that spring can come. And then so there is massive abundance on the other side. Yeah. But is it fair to say, Lorraine, that you have been, bless your heart, stretching as you've been going into winter, right? Which has been scary.
Oh, very scary. Very, very, very scary, you know, and especially when you have family still dependent on you. You know?
How many kids do you have?
Well, I have 4 of my own and then 2 stepchildren. So there is 6 altogether. And then, of course, I've got the grandchildren as well. So, yeah.
Single parent.
Sorry?
Single parent, widower.
Yes.
So a lot of responsibility on your plate, but you had this calling, didn't you, to help these children and to help these families?
It's something that you just cannot say no to. You just get an unease that you're not doing something that you're supposed to be doing. and you don't know what direction to go in. And then you just sit back and literally see what's coming at you. Am I being guided to? And I was totally guided to follow you, even though it took 2 years to actually fully connect and to get the soul blueprint. As soon as you explained about my fours, it was like a light just coming on. And what it gave me was permission to accept what had happened in the past without taking blame.
Thank you. And of course, hey, straight back at you, because, you know, well created. And also, Lorraine is one of the, and I'm going to say this, Lorraine is one of the few people, like in the world, if you think about the world, is one of the few people that has got this like incredible faith, this incredible courage, this incredible heart to keep on stepping forwards. And what I love about you is that you will receive, because there's one thing like asking for help, and then when the divine sends you a guide or a teacher, it's like, okay, this is what we need to do, this is the path. There's another thing receiving it and sticking to the path and following it. And Lorraine has always been a good receiver. So, you know, she asks for help, she listens to the guidance, and she acts on the guidance. Which is the path out of the woods. You know, it's much, much quicker for us all to find somebody who has gone through the dark woods themselves before us, who might, you know, who isn't there like pointing out every single pebble stone, but they are calling to us, you know, from the other side of the woods, giving us that encouragement and giving us what we need to keep on stepping forwards. And that's what Lorraine has always done. So kudos to you, Lorraine. So you're just at the point now where things are starting to shift for you. Tell us about that, and like maybe tell us how you have kept on going, right? Because do you mind me sharing this, like about you had to move house?
Yeah.
You actually had to move house, right? In order
downsize. Yeah, we had to downsize and get a cheaper rent, and to be able to keep our heads above water. Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you manage your mind as you were going through all of that? Because a lot of people would have turned back at that point and said, I've gone too far, I've got this wrong. And people do this, start blaming other people, could be their guides, has been me in the past, for their own creations, because the fear comes up, and the fear around money can be huge. So how did you, because you've never blamed me. I mean, you've never blamed me, you've always taken responsibility for your creations. That's not everybody's reality. Can you teach a little bit on that?
Oh my goodness, you've knocked me for 6 there. I suppose a lot of this is taking responsibility for your own actions, for your own thoughts, and for your own, because it's you that creates your reality. So I suppose I've always felt that in some way. That's been my connection. So certainly blaming somebody for something, it's just not part of who I am. And it's focusing on, you know, what is actually happening in the moment. And it's taking each moment as it comes. And I know that's not easy. And again, you know, it's your faith. It is your faith. You're absolutely right. You just have to trust and just know at this moment in time, I'm not out in the streets. My family is not out in the streets. And at times it really got to that. And I said, right, you know, what is there next that I have to do? And again, you know, they send help all the time. My last landlord sold the house, so we had to move. But we couldn't afford to stay there anyway. And now, of course, as you know, we've had to come over to Wales, which is lovely. And it is a lot cheaper rent per month. So for me, it's just been such a blessing, because now it still means I can keep putting the money into Beyond Parenthood. and keep my head up above water because I know, as you know, every business, you have to be spending money on it or else it's just a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So this is forwards now. It's definitely
keep investing in yourself and in your mission.
Yes.
There's always, we're growing all the time, and we're upskilling all the time. But what I just love that you shared there, Lorraine, is and it was the same for me, right? When I was in my caravan, I'd given away all of my stuff, practically bankrupt, in that place of couldn't even downsize, was in a what was it, a car, where was I going after that? Maybe it, could have downsized to a car, but yeah, there we go. Glad I didn't have to. But it got to that point as well where winter had come. And I was in the harshest winter months, which is the fourth thing. It has to go to, for some of us, it has to go to being completely barren before it starts going up the other side and becomes fruitful again. And, it's those moments where it is literally, is your divine drive, is your soul calling greater than your fear? Are you going to choose your divine calling? Are you going to choose to stay in the stretch? Are you going to choose to stay in the magic and wait for that magical door to appear, and not just wait for it, but really start getting very resourceful and trusting in your guidance, and turning over every single stone? Or are you going to admit defeat to your own creations and say, I've gone too far, and turn back home? So what you and I both share is that we stayed in that place, and you're just at that point now where the magical door has started to open. So walk us into that experience. How is that feeling?
It's been amazing. It's just absolutely mind-blowing, absolutely. On your advice, I was to give out a free card reading. And I did get the strength and courage to do that.
And by the way, Lorraine is also offering anybody who is watching this a free card reading, because she is an incredible, she's a Reiki master, but she's very tuned into the angelic realm. And you've been doing card readings for how long?
About 4 years now.
Okay, and giving guidance for 4 years. So as a free gift, Lorraine is offering to do that. So, and you're getting a lot of attention, right? And people are now wanting to find out, who is Lorraine and what are you doing? So go on. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm learning from the people as well within my Beyond Parenthood community is just amazing. And people opening up, being vulnerable, and listening for the messages and the guidance from the angels. They're always, always here for us. And
people have started knocking on your door.
Well, not quite yet, but they did over in Bristol. They did. So I know it's going to be.
Not literally your door, but I mean your etheric door. People are attracted. People are coming to you, and they're having booking sessions with you, right?
Yes.
And you've got you're doing some masterclasses and sharing your wisdom. So you're in that attractor. You're in the vortex, or you're just stepping into it.
Just stepping into it. Absolutely. This is only the beginning. And we are here to serve our community, just like you. And yeah, it's really going to be phenomenal. I know it is, and my master classes are going to be channeled by Archangel Michael. He has started to give me downloads already. So definitely on this path now. So having this breakthrough is just phenomenal. Getting my first clients, paying clients, is just, as you say, coming out of the winter.
You're coming into spring now.
Yes.
Now I'm going to put the link. So I didn't do it now because sometimes the technology goes very strange and we start being voices start coming out of the computer, and it's like 5 seconds ago of our recording. So I'm not going to touch the technology, but what I will do, as soon as we finish this live stream, I'm going to put the link to book a reading with Lorraine to get some guidance from the angel kingdom on your path into the live stream. So I'll put it in the comments, and I'll also attach it to the top. And for those of you watching this back on replay, if you're on YouTube, the link will also be on YouTube or on the email itself. Or you could just write it down now, and you could get to the top of the list and be one of the ones to book your first free reading with Lorraine, because you're getting quite the backlog now, aren't you? There's a bit of a waiting list.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm catching up. I'm keeping on top of it. So that's the main thing. But yes, I mean, yeah, it's doing so well. I'm just feeling so blessed.
So if you'd like to book a free angel card reading with Lorraine, then go to bit.ly/angel with a capital A hyphen Ariella with a capital A. bit.ly/angel with a capital A hyphen Ariella with a capital A. And I'll also put it in the comments. Well, I have just absolutely adored being on this journey with you. You are one of you are one of those people, one of those clients, and I love all of my clients, and I adore doing what I do, and I absolutely, it nourishes my soul so much being in service and supporting people like you who have got these divine callings, these soul callings to get up and running, particularly people who are in the spiritual community, you know, so that we can really lift the consciousness of this planet and like send your beautiful light out there. You know, so I adore serving all clients like you, but you do have a special place in my heart, Lorraine. And I just know, and maybe it's Archangel Michael, maybe it's my guides, your guides, who know, but I just know that I'm here to help you. And I know that I know that I need to like elevate you and help your light to shine even more in the world. And it's a joy to do that, and it's an honor to do that. And you supported me at one of my retreats earlier this year. And Lorraine is just this she's the type of incredible lady that she's just all in. You know, she's just all in. And she shows up. I mean, she really does. And she goes above and beyond. And she's got a truly generous heart and a truly generous nature. And I think we all need more of Lorraine's light in the world. So Lorraine, thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for being on Ascension Talk with Ariella. It's been an absolute blessing and honor to share your presence with my audience.
Thank you for all those kind words. I feel such a special connection with you, Ariella. There's no two ways about it. The experiences that you have given me have opened up to me, and your generosity. You're my leader. You know, you're showing me by your generosity, and you are very, very, very generous. And this is a great blessing to be able to feel it and receive it, because then when we get that reception and we fully take that on, it's a natural involvement that this is what the rest of us, your community, is going to go out and follow your lead, and therefore it's going to become a much more generous world.
Bless your heart. Well, thank you. And I'm looking forward to raising the frequency of this planet with you. And thank you to everybody who has tuned in. I will be here next week as well. I've got another incredible interview for you next week. It's with Steve Noble, who many of you will know. He is an amazing healer. He's an amazing spiritual teacher. He does a lot of the soul matrix healing work. He's very cool. He's a starseed. He's a fellow Brit. I also want to let you know, and I'll be posting more about it, that have been very called in the past few months, and I actually never knew I would be doing this, to start teaching what I have been doing myself for the past 4.5 years, which is being an oracle to others on their ascension journeys, giving these readings, using this incredible Hebrew system, plus all of the other aspects that I've channeled around it, helping to illuminate people's soul blueprints, helping people to restore their soul blueprints, to activate these divine gifts, to illuminate who they truly are. So I'm going to be sharing more about it, but there is you may want to put it in your diary if you feel called to attend. There is a masterclass coming up on Monday, the 23rd of September at 6 p.m. London. And I'm going to be giving a lot of value in this webinar. I'm going to be sharing with you how to access your profile for free, which is normally £33 on my website, with a 90-page ebook. So you can get a lot of insight and illumination about who you are and what your soul blueprint looks like, and how you're divinely coded to express your divinity in this lifetime. And I'm also going to be teaching about 3 common codes that most people have in their soul blueprint, how you can activate these specifically to activate your higher abundance. Because a bit like we've been talking about today, I've spoken to thousands of people now in the spiritual community, and for most people, the biggest block, the thing that they need the most help with, is money. All of us, have experienced this, how difficult life can be when you don't have access to your higher abundance. And, I really feel called to share what I've learned in this, roller coaster journey that I've been on, where I have now activated my divine gifts and my higher abundance. And I did it through knowing this system. So I'm going to be teaching you enlightened business strategies of what to lead with when you have these 3 common codes in your profile. So that's a masterclass which is coming up on the 23rd of October. And as I say, I'm now going to be teaching this system. So I am training oracles. I am professionally certifying oracles, because we need, as far as I'm concerned, we need as many oracles in the world, ascension guides supporting other people on their path, so they can do like Lorraine is doing, like I have done, transition from that old world, where we can feel stuck and our light isn't shining, into the magical world, the supernatural world, the mystical world, where it's incredible gifts, incredible light to share, incredible impact that we can all create in the world. And this system is the best roadmap that I have ever discovered to help you to do that. So if you feel the call to be an oracle, then definitely come to that free masterclass on Monday, the 23rd of September. Sending much love, much gratitude to you again, Lorraine, for a beautiful interview, a lovely conversation. Thank you for all that you bring, and your heart and your gifts. And I will hopefully see you all next week, next Thursday at 4 p.m. UK on Ascension Talk with Ariella. Much love and blessings to you all.
Bye.